For those of you who are not familiar with my channel, I am an empathic medium and I channel messages regarding things that I am intuitively connected to, such as the earth or loved ones, even ancestors. I have a great many deal of spiritual placements in my chart. And it made sense to me when I discovered my own energetic field. So I have been able to really draw on my own spiritual gifts, and I really have done it without any guidance. I've had a very challenging life, and it's been quite an interesting journey learning how to facilitate and utilize my spiritual gifts without any guidance or any nurturing for that matter. So with that said, I feel that the intuitive downloads that I receive are very reliable, and I find that whenever I do receive intuitive downloads, certain things happen within a time period, so I have learned to also trust my intuition, and I feel that it is part of my destiny to share that gift with other people and the world. Part of my spiritual journey is to guide humanity through its problems, assuming that they'll listen to me. I really, at this point, I feel like you guys are hopeless, but nobody's perfect, right? So here goes nothing. So where do I begin? All right. The first download that I received was regarding the environment. There's a lot of change going on politically, environmentally, culturally, even on an individual scale. Like, we're all trying to deal with all of this change in the best way we can. Some people really don't know how to deal with things, and they're just exacerbating the chaos in the world, such as the rioting, the racism, the division. All these unnecessary things are a result of people's inability to make stable decisions and act accordingly with a balanced integrity. And it's because, humanity really, we're immature, we are. So our downfall will be that we can't deal with things properly, pretty much. But I really hope that we'll be able to. It's just a matter of focusing on what's really important, setting our eyes on what is truly important and trying to fix it. I think we waste too much of our energy just reacting in violence and in disruption. We waste too much energy focusing on things that we really don't have control over, and that takes away from our time and our effort and our energy to be able to deal with things that we can fix, such as climate change. But on a political scale, the Democrats are trying to take advantage of the climate change and induce a socialism just to deal with climate change. That's kind of where Greta Thunberg is going. That's kind of where, all this stuff is going. And then Trump, the other extreme, he's trying to rev up the economy and cut down all the trees, exacerbating, climate change through strengthening the economy. Granted, we have to find balance somehow, right? I mean, obviously, the coronavirus is destroying the economy. How convenient for Trump, And then all the fires last year are not helping the environment this year. So there's just a lot of things that we have to balance out and figure out how to fix. They're calling it a trifecta of change that is occurring within the planet right now. So instead of rioting on the streets and getting up in each other's faces and wasting time arguing and bickering and one-upping each other, we should really just focus on how to save democracy, replacing all these extremists in the government with moderate, well-minded, stable, and balanced individuals who aren't going to polarize the system and destroy democracy. It's all about voting in the proper people. But how do we vote in the proper people? Well, we need to educate each other on what democracy was really meant to be, and put the right people into steering the ship, into preserving democracy. And get rid of all these extremists who are polarizing the system, like Ilhan Omar. She's a radical extremist. Trump, also an extremist. Even AOC is very extreme, and it's written all over her face. Like, she does not shut up. Her face is literally imprinted into my head. Like, I cannot unsee her. So there's just a lot of people trying to get their 2 cents in, and it's not really about who's right or who's wrong. It's about working together to solve the problems that we all share, but we can't seem to do that because, like I said, there's too many extremists. So those people are creating political problems that are taking our attention away from solving climate change. Now, I would suggest to not even focus on Greta Thunberg or, any extremist. I would suggest that we all just do our part in being more resourceful economically, because I feel that if we become more resourceful economically, we can restore nature. And it's just as simple as that. I mean, think about it. What's the root to all destruction? Excessiveness, right? Too much of anything is not good. So if we learn how to be more resourceful, we don't have to create a new world order just to deal with climate change. But I think the messages that I really want to get out are we need to replace all these extremists with moderate, well-balanced people in order to rectify the issues that are crumbling democracy, and we need to do it fast. We need to do it very fast. And then we also need to invest in greener technology, which I think is already happening, and that's really all we need to do to improve the environment and plant more trees. The environment is not normal right now, and a lot of people are starting to notice. The weather patterns are screwing up. It's not raining as much. It's because we lost all that condensation from the rainforest. Did you know that the rainforest actually produced 20% of the oxygen in the whole world, and a lot of that moisture is now gone? A lot of, I think it was 40% or 50, even 60% of the moisture in the air was from the rainforest. That's what held all of that moisture. That's what put all that moisture in the air. It's a very symbolic system, replenishing system, and when we lose vegetation, we lose moisture. And that should go without saying. That should be common sense. You should learn that in biology class in like 10th grade. So, but it's condensation. It's the cycle of condensation and weather, and it is imbalanced. Plus, Antarctica, the polar ice caps, just everything's melting 10 times more than it should. And I don't know how much longer we're going to ignore that. Like, okay, so time to get our heads out of our butts, guys, and stop wasting our energy on feeding extremists, and just tackle what we need to as far as becoming more conservative economically. So that's the message.